So, it looks like Snow White is not doing so well. The reviews on Rotten Tomatoes are pretty bad. It's a really big difference when compared to the early reviews before the movie was released to the public, which many people said were from sources that were linked to Disney, so they had a reason to give the movie a good review. Over on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a rating of 49%, which is totally different with the studio's carefully controlled early social media reactions that bizarrely labeled the film a triumphant return to form for Disney and called Rachel Zegler a supernova. They had a premiere a few days ago, and the press were not allowed to ask questions. Only hand-picked staff from Disney were allowed to ask questions. Even though this article came out 1 day ago, I checked Rotten Tomatoes and the score is now down to 46%. This tells you why Disney delayed lifting the review embargo until just 24 hours before the release. The studio knew the real reviews would be more honest about the movie when compared to the hand-picked influencers and Disney-friendly outlets who gave the movie a lot of praise. A lot of reviews are saying it's just not a good movie. I had high hopes that Snow White would make me happy. Instead, this dopey remake made me sleepy and grumpy. With an uneven combination of forgettable music, bland choreography, and few genuine laughs, Snow White fails to find and maintain its footing. This is a film that tries very hard to not take risks, or even acknowledge that risks exist. The result is a hodgepodge of awful CGI, contrived new songs, in a story full of plot and lacking in substance. This reimagining of a story everyone knows lacks imagination, essentially translating a solid text with the least possible creativity and depth. Even positive reviews are barely positive, most of them giving off the same type of response. Well, it's not the worst thing I've seen. Here are some of the best positive reviews so far. A slight but agreeable adaptation that in its best moments offers similar charms to a well-mounted theme park parade. Good enough for kids. It's not quite fairest of them all, but hardly a poisonous apple either. It isn't great. It isn't terrible. It's just fair. There's even discussions of how the dwarfs are now created in CGI instead of using real actors, and their design just doesn't seem to fit. Looking at the reviews here in different categories, you can see the big difference. The movie is either average or it's just worth not seeing, but it gets worse. It just goes to show that no matter how much access you control before the release date, when the movie comes out and everyone can see it, the real and honest reviews will show you if the movie is worth your time or not. And the sad thing about this is that this all fell apart because of Rachel Zegler. The things she said on social media just made things worse for Disney. Disney chiefs have called her directly and asked her to tone down her posts. They've called her management, but she won't listen. There was even reports that Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler didn't like each other. So during an award show, they didn't even talk to each other. And they went on to promote the film Snow White, but doing it separately. There are some predictions of the box office returns on the movie. During the opening weekend, they are expecting somewhere around 42 to 50 million domestically, and a global start to around 100 million. The budget for the movie was around 270 million, but with many honest reviews saying it's not a good movie, it's going to struggle to make that money back. But other sources are saying the budget was a bit closer to 300 million. It just looks like the movie is doomed and Disney is going to lose money on this venture. So I'm going to look at the available seats for a cinema in our downtown location in my city, which usually has a lot of people. So this is the VIP section for 7 p.m. today. This one is about half full, even though it's a small theater. This is the IMAX version at 4:40 p.m. These are the reserved seats ahead of time. Not too many. Here's IMAX at 7 p.m. It's looking pretty empty. This is 10 p.m. for the IMAX experience. Once again, pretty empty. Almost no one is there on opening day. On Friday, this is the VIP section here for 6:45 p.m. and 9:45 p.m. That's what you see there. Now, Friday, IMAX, 1:40 p.m., pretty empty. 4:30 p.m., a few more, but not a lot. Then 7 p.m., not too many. And 10 p.m., it's empty so far. That's for Friday, IMAX. Here is regular version. This is 12:50 p.m., only a few people. 3:30 p.m., here's 6:30 p.m., and let's check out 9:20 p.m. on a Friday for regular. Still not much. Well, what about Saturday? Well, this is VIP Saturday, 12:45 p.m. Empty. You see? 3:45 on a Saturday. A few people there. 6:45 p.m. VIP on a Saturday. A few more. And 9:45 p.m. We might as well check out IMAX on a Saturday when most families would have more time. Seems empty at 11 a.m. What about over at 1:50 p.m.? Here's 4:30 p.m. This is Saturday, of course, remember? Saturday. 7:20 p.m. Yeah, almost nobody. 10 p.m. Nobody at all. She also made a post on social media wishing that certain people, specifically Trump supporters, Trump voters, and Trump himself, to never know peace. And this post might have made things worse. But, in the end, you only have yourself to blame for this stuff because of what you said. And right now it looks like Disney's Snow White is going to be a flop. That's a prediction. And from the looks of the seats available in cinemas, that might be true.